Yo, yo, my sovereigns, what up? This is Boba Fett, uncensored on the internet, with episode of 15 of Splinterlands 101, continuing on with our Behind the Avatar theme. Joining me, of course, usual guests on the show, from Hive Australia, the greatest gentleman who ever lived, according to Agroad, Matt Clark.
Howdy.
Gio, my partner in crime in Melbourne, Australia.
Hello, hello.
And our special guest, Aussie Ninja.
Hey.
Aussie overseas. Like, you know,
yeah.
Still, I guess we could still call you an Aussie, but he managed to escape before the barbed wire went up. So
yeah, I was told 4 years before it happened to get out, and so yeah, I've been in the US for 6 years.
Okay, well, whereabouts in the US?
On the West Coast in Oregon, so I'm just in the forest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. So venison for dinner every night.
Every night, or like sometimes we have chipmunks or squirrels. You know how it is.
Yeah. In the suburban area, it's just luck of the draw. It depends on what's crossing the road at certain times of the day. But it's usually not as appetizing as venison.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're not talking about 8:30 at a school crossing. That's not what you mean. Okay, just checking. Uncensored. I don't know.
Maybe in
your menu log driver arrives and you go.
Actually, Adelaide's the state for all that stuff, isn't it? Where people or is it Western Australia has more missing persons a year than like the rest of Australia combined? Which
I mean, it's very big.
Yeah,
I prefer roadkill.
So just saying, your menu log driver arrives and you go check the bumper to see what he's delivered.
That is the menu. You look at the bumper bar. Oh, I'll have a little bit of that, a side of that, and 2 of those things.
This is the extra you never wanted but need. The side. Here's the sides.
So, Adam, how did you first get into Splinterlands or on the blockchain, or just something randomly different?
So my journey from Australia to the US, we basically came to just have an adventure. The US is pretty friendly when it comes to visas, which is surprising. But trying to transfer money, my own money, from Australia to the US was a massive headache. And so I remember talking to these people on the phone, and they wanted me to fly to Australia to go to the bank branch in person to show my ID to withdraw my own money. I was like, I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous. And so eventually I was able to make it work, but it took 20 or so business days just withdrawing small amounts. And it was just so rubbish that I started looking for some sort of alternative. And that's where I found cryptocurrency and digital currencies and all that sort of stuff. And I think I was just watching a video, what is a cryptocurrency? And someone was like, hey, you should try this website, Steam. It's good for blogging and stuff like that. And I first read about it. I'm like, how is this not a Ponzi? It took me a full year to figure out if it was a Ponzi or not. And that's where I kind of met Matt Clark and Taskmaster. And I think I was pretty discouraged in the first couple of weeks or whatever. I'm just not getting it. It's just not quite working for me. And then, I think Taskmaster and Matt in particular were really supportive. And then I joined Team Australia and that sort of stuff. And that all that was, I don't know, 4 years ago or something. And it's been a wonderful journey ever since. So obviously I'm really proud of the Hive community and how it, segregated for Steam. Obviously I was a big part, not a big part, but I was there at the time. So yeah, I love the Hive blockchain now. I love it way more than I loved the Steam blockchain, which I also really liked a lot at the time. And the community is pretty great. And then I was actually pretty slow to Splinterlands. I didn't have much spare money. We're actually, I don't know, America kind of makes you poor. It's just, everything's expensive. You don't get paid very much. It's pretty rough here. So I didn't have a lot of spare money to play with. And just, I didn't understand really Steam monsters and all that sort of stuff. But eventually I think I won some cards, like just on like, you know, the blockchain, people just giving cards away and stuff, and kind of jumped in from there. I did participate, I think, in the original Kickstarter at like one of the lower levels, really just to like help the team out, you know, like, and I was able to use PayPal, and that's something I did understand. And then once I really got into it, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand, because my introduction to cryptocurrency was also through Steamer. So when my friend Kurt was deported from Mexico, and he stayed at my place for a couple of weeks, and like he got me onto it. And the only thing is, because I mean, obviously I knew about Bitcoin, but I couldn't have answered any Q&A on it. So he set me up. I got on Steam, started vlogging on DTube, and got a bit of success with that at the time. I mean, back in those days, like if DTube gave you an upvote, it was like $120, 90, 120 bucks. Yeah. So and I was getting 3 or 4 of those a week, and off Kurt went. And like, you know, the first couple of weeks on Steam, I didn't even know that I was on a cryptocurrency. I was just, you know, just looking at the dollar value at the bottom. But then I didn't have an account with an exchange, wouldn't know how to. So until he came back 6 months later, I was just making all this Steam, but had no exchange accounts, no other crypto. And then Splinterlands or Steam Monsters came out. It's like, oh, here's something I can do. I can buy it with Steam. And one of the Team Australia guys at the time set up a shop, so I bought a hoodie from him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I got some silver Steam coins off Matt. Matt took Steam for payment, so I bought some coins off Matt. It was like, I can actually do something with this Steam. And then once Kurt came back and he helped me set up an exchange type thing, then I started like delving into crypto. But yeah, I was into Splinterlands and Steam before I really even knew what crypto was.
So your friend was your own personal Google. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Good. That's what you want. You want a personalized Google.
Yeah. And it was handy when he was in Sydney too, but now he's back in Mexico. It's like 15-hour time difference. It doesn't work
Ridiculous.
as well. Yeah. Right.
I like that personal Google. I've got there's an old friend of mine from when we were teenagers. We've been buddies forever. She's lovely, but she's got a group of sort of hippie friends in their, I guess, 40s, 50s, and they're all suspicious of government, but no knowledge of crypto. So they've been, you know, hitting me up on their personal Google, and you know, every couple of weeks we'll meet for lunch or, you know, coffee somewhere, and there'll be a group of, you know, 7 or 8 of us, and I'm running them through, you know, they're saying, how do we, you know, get money into crypto? And I'm like, hey, look, the absolute easiest way if you want to invest is jump in, get an account on Splinterlands, and use your credit card, whatever to buy credits, and then just buy packs with them. Buy Chaos Legion packs. So you don't need to play the game. You don't need to worry about you know, any of the other stuff. All you need to do is go in, buy packs, try and get, you know, bulk discount if you can, you know, save up credits until you've got, you know, and get past obviously whatever maximums there are, whatever KYC you need to do that. It will hold your hand. That's the best way to get into crypto. And those packs, you just sit on them until they sell out, and then you just watch the value of them climb as more people discover the game and want the packs and open them, and more of the people who bought the packs to flip do flip, and those packs get opened or they get held by, you know, stronger hands. It's just, you know, one or two of them, they're looking at land and they're like, oh, should I buy plots of land? I'm like, that's always a great idea, but land plots, you can see them going up and down, right? And they might well go up. They might be life-changing money, but I don't want you to go, hey, this plot of land that I bought for $600 last week is now $400. Right. What's going on, right? Packs, I can recommend packs to you all day, because they're not going, you know, once they sell out, they're not going down, right? It's just the only, I guess, the only real truth that's ever been consistent with Splinterlands is you're never going to lose money buying packs and then flipping them, as long as you hold them long enough, you know. So, and they're looking at my orbs that I bought for $2 and they're $150 each now, and going, well, that's, you know, if you've gone, what's that, 75x, in the space of 18 months, that's what we want. And I'm like, so yeah, just put it in for the longer term, right? Buy the packs and then hang on to them for 2 or 3 years. And it's great because I'm used to talking to millennials about crypto. So I'm like, longer term. And they're like, you're saying longer term as in 2 or 3 years?
I was thinking
these are
15
traditional
minutes
people
max.
who've been around.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They've
So
been around forever.
that
And they're like, look.
That reminded me
go on.
that a big part of me actually investing in Splinterlands was because I wanted to take all my Steam out. I didn't want to support the Steam blockchain at all. And actually buying Splinterlands cards was the easiest way for me to spend my Steam and my Steam back dollars, because I just didn't want to worry about exchanges and all that sort of stuff. So like I completely emptied my Steam accounts and bought Splinterland cards with it. And I think that's really where the value of my collection has come from. So good.
I think that's where a lot of Splinterland's actual value comes from, because that's exactly what I was doing, and I'm sure others were doing it.
Yeah.
And not only that, when I noticed that was the easiest way, I thought, well, if that's the easiest way, then a whole lot of other guys are going to be doing this same thing too. So I know that that's going to be a well-worn path, and that's going to be popular, and that's going to do wonderful things for Splinterlands. And it really solidified the project as the front runner on Hive.
Yeah.
And when you're at the front, then you've got all the momentum, you know, and you're the first place that people go to really sink their teeth in. And I think other projects then almost need your support, you know, because and they're great with this, like DigiCon and Splinterfest that Splinterlands do. It is very much we're not going to pull the ladder up after ourselves. We understand that when you have that momentum, and when you have that gravity and then everything's getting sucked towards you, other projects then have less of a chance in a way. So I think the way that they encourage other projects, and also the way that they build tools and make them available. So if you're a project and you say to Yabba, hey, I need some help with whatever, he'll just go, here's the plugin for this, here's the, here's the tool that we use for that. Like, so it's giving you the tools that you need to be successful. And every day, there are, you know, a couple of thousand new accounts for your game that you haven't even thought of yet, because they're getting keychain, they're getting accounts on the blockchain, they're pulling together resource credits. So if I come up with a game a year from now and get obsessed and develop it and you know, pay developers, I can't code my way out of a brown paper bag, but the guy who joined Splinterlands yesterday is already a player of my game I haven't even come up with yet, because he's already got the account, right? He's already got the username, password, everything he needs. So that's the biggest step for indie developers, and they're already helping in that way too, which I think's great.
Yeah, I can't wait to play your Splinter Bands game, Matt. I think it'll be great.
I'm still like mind blown over
it.
what you guys just took for granted with cards on Steam. I wish I'd thought of that, because I was using Steam Engine and Hive Engine, of course, paying fees twice to get it from Steam to the middle, and then why didn't I just buy cards?
Come on, Frank. Why didn't he tell you to do that, Frank?
So what do you actually do? What do you do in the US there, Adam? Like what?
Yeah. So
why did they need another Australian?
They needed us. No, so I'm from Melbourne. You know, obviously
Gio and I are both Melbourne as well.
Yeah, I know. I could tell by your attractiveness and just general charisma. Yeah,
makes me feel good.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. So like lots of our friends, you know, Melbourne is obviously very multicultural. A lot of our friends were from somewhere else, and me and my partner felt a little like, oh, we're the only people that are like, you know, I don't know, like the only people still living in the country that we were born in. And I think we're both like third generation Australia, or like something super boring. So like, you know what, we need to go and live somewhere else. All our friends are from other places. So yeah, we just wanted to come and explore. And like America is, you know, obviously a bit of a hub. Canada is right there, and then Mexico and all those countries are down below. So yeah, it's like, it's an exciting place. We've got friends in Europe, and, you know, New York isn't that far. And then like London isn't that far from New York. But what I didn't realize is that when you start working like an idiot, you only get 2 weeks off. So that really kills a lot of opportunity for traveling. So that's why you should never work. That's the moral of this whole stream.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm here to inspire
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
by making
Break-
the mistakes first.
Break the mold. Get out of that old school paradigm shift. You know, get an education, get a job
Yeah.
with the government
break the
if you
script.
can. Nice, safe job with the government. Save your money in the bank where it's nice and safe.
Yeah.
Get that 0.05% interest every year. Hey. Actually, that's so funny now. Like hearing conversations, just coffee shops. Actually, another reason I moved to Melbourne, it's just like living in Sydney. It was just such a pain having to come to Melbourne every time I wanted a decent coffee. So I was like, no, I'm gonna
The
live
amount
in
of people
Melbourne.
that come to visit us and then complain that there's no good coffee is overwhelming.
Melbourne is the heart of coffee, but
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. Sydney, they're just not onto it. They can't make coffee.
They're too
but
busy
yeah,
popping their collars to really get a good cup of coffee.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're sitting at a coffee shop somewhere, just, you know, I put on my little suit of invisibility, become the fly on the wall, and just like listen. And conversations, you hear people talk about investment opportunities, or they just took out a 6-month term deposit type thing, and like, I'm getting 1%, you know, like it's like per annum, you know, it's like since crypto, like if I can't make 20%, I'm just not interested.
Yeah. Do you just go up to them and scream Splinterlands? Do you just flip their table?
It's a whole paradigm shift of change. And just we've talked for it, like the whole concept, like it took me ages to understand with like upvotes and stuff like that. You know, if I've got 100 hive and I give Matt 5 cents with my upvote, that leaves me with 95 cents.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that fiat mentality. It's like,
it took
what do you
me
mean
a long
I
time to
create
understand.
5 cents? Or you know, only banks can do that.
Yeah, the whole like, where is this money coming from? Took me a long time to understand. Like, it is really confusing when you don't know anything else.
Yeah. But I just kept looking at the balance. Every video, it was just going up and up. So I've got no idea how or why, but I'm looking at the results. That's good enough for me.
I mean, people obviously believe that you're adding value to the whole network, and that's amazing, right? Like, we want people to be creating value for the network because it's the network. So yeah, that's great. I'm glad you're inspired to say things on video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because now we're here talking about the lands of Splinter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Geo, time for you to, you're pretty quiet there in the background. Like,
I was more intrigued with his story and how he got into Splinterlands, and now Chaos Legion, the newest pack, which I've more so heavily put my intention into to buy up. And yeah, this is pretty much where I started, like heavily. And yeah, it's been interesting, man. Just playing in diamonds and whatever else. It's just like, yeah, it's a whole nother level. And I knew about it in 2018 when in the Steemit days when all you guys were around. But I never, like you, man, like I never took it seriously. I was like, what's this? And then Bob, he couldn't explain it, articulate it in a way like Matt could, let's say. So you had.
Well, that's because I had no idea I could explain something.
He was just screaming at you in a coffee shop.
Hey, Bubba.
Hey, Ava.
You look.
Can she hear me?
No, I want
No,
to.
I'll just.
Yeah, give her a moment.
She just woke up.
Geo's daughter has the same date of birth as me. How's that?
I'm just on a video. Okay?
To the
You
year?
can play with your toys.
That's just month and day.
Now everything's here.
I can't believe you had to clarify that.
He's been in the US too long.
Yeah.
I don't understand how time works anymore.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Time is just a new concept. It's evolved to a point. I just can't. I don't measure it anymore.
Yeah.
I just don't bother.
And why should you have to? I like it when kids cough. Like, it always just makes me laugh. It's just that complete like blah. Of coughing.
is full. She lies about her cough. She's like acting on it, and then it's like awkward when you're like walking out, and all she does is cough. It's like she's not sick. It's like fine. It's like, oh man.
That's amazing.
Especially
She's
in this
worked
day
out.
and
That's
age,
how she
you know?
gets good attention. Is by just
It works. It works. I'm actually going to grab her some milky, so you guys just talk along,
Yeah.
and then whenever I arrive, we'll talk about more about all of this. All right.
all the
Alrighty.
things.
Oh, and there's Puss.
Oh, good. Well, Chaos Legion. I had a moment last night, and I don't know. It's just funny. It's rare that you have like a moment, but you Handsome Devils took me into the Chaos Agent, so I've been looking to stack him at one mana, and I was playing and I saw a gold that was already combined. It was like 8,800 dark energy crystals, and I was like, oh, I got 8,650. I can't. I have to buy and sell or something. And I thought, hang on, I'm doing my quest, and I just won 2 more battles, and I had enough dark energy crystals then to just go and buy that Chaos Agent.
No way.
Because normally, what I make from battles is not sort of sufficient to have any sort of real impact. But when you're almost there, and I was like, I can just, and I even used the Chaos Agent that I had to win one of those battles to actually, make up the money to buy him some buddies and then all combine. I'm like, there's just something so satisfying about that. My brother talks about how what we do and what we eat are so far removed from each other that there's like a schism there. It's not the satisfaction of planting potatoes and then digging them up and eating them. It's, you're a web developer, and then that leads to money, which then some other guy somewhere is doing it, and then you get a microwave dinner on your lap after work. And because there's no connection between what you do and what you eat, there's a real divide there. And so for me, a moment like that where I'm just, okay, I can't afford this. How can I move money around? Oh, hang on, no, you earned from playing. All right, let's, and 10 minutes later, I'm buying the card that I wanted. And
did you play to earn, Matt?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I did. I absolutely, in the moment, I played to earn. Magnificent.
So one thing I'm a little bit sad about is, and I totally understand why the team did this, but they removed the DEC rewards if you had DEC and Ethereum in the Uniswap liquidity pools, which is something that I have been participating in. So for like a year or two, I've been getting like just DEC every day. And now that's completely dried up. And they said that that'll just go back into the rewards to be shared with everyone. And I totally support that, if not selfishly a little sad. But I can't say that I've really noticed like the DEC kind of go up in rewards. It feels like it's kind of the same. Like it was always kind of like all over the place anyway. Have you guys noticed an increase or not really? Like, what are your thoughts?
I have no idea what you were just talking about as far as Ethereum liquidity pools. So, Matt.
No, I get Uniswap liquidity pools. Like when you wrap your head around exactly what that is and how it works, not at the nuts and bolts level, because I've got no idea at the nuts and bolts level, but at the conceptual level, those swap pools is absolutely mind blowing. It is worth, Bob, maybe you and I could sit down and have a one-on-one chat for an hour or so at some point and go through it. And actually, when you understand, I've got a good analogy. Maybe we'll sit down and do another video at some point, and I'll just share my analogy so that you understand.
Right.
That's a good,
Yeah.
Anyone who wants to then get it can, because I think my way of explaining it's probably the best way you'll find. So,
of
and it might even be accurate. I get swap pools, and it's a shame they pulled those rewards. I don't deal with swap pools necessarily with Splinterlands, at all. I've got some wrapped Leo Ethereum, some in that pool, and that's pretty much my only exposure to swap pools. But I get it. I love the concept.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, so as far as deck rewards for battles, because it's less significant than what I'm getting. Usually, I might make out of battling. I might make say 300 deck a day, 400 deck a day, because I literally, for the most part, I just do my battles and get it done. And I might make 50, 60, sometimes 80, rarely 100 deck for a win. So it's not a huge amount compared to the 4,000 or 5,000 that I'm getting in rentals, for example, each day. So it's not really heavily on my radar, but I have noticed that it used to be every now and then I'd notice, oh, I got 130 deck for that win, right? I used to get that, and now I don't. Nothing really triggers that at the end of the match. I don't notice, oh, hang on, there's 3 figures there. So I think perhaps I figure we're on sort of something of a downward slide until deck hits the peg again. That's when the SPS airdrop finishes. I think that's what everybody's expecting. And so that's going to do funky things to the economy. And I think once we get back to that peg, then there's, when I say peg, it's, it's a soft, it's a more of an aspiration than a, anything that's locked in. But
I mean, it is
programmed that rot after a few days of rain, and then spring busts and they fall apart.
The wooden one.
Yeah, no, I agree, Adam. It is programmed in that the higher the price is above 1 per 1,000, the more deck is printed.
Yes.
But it's not like a algorithmic stable coin where there's heavy incentives to keep it exactly there. It's sort of it's more of a gentle type of thing. So I think when we get back there, then that will stabilize quite a lot. And I think the rank reward changes that are coming up are going to, I'm sensing a lot of excitement about that. I think the rank reward changes coming up are going to give us a lot more incentive to play, every day, but also not just beyond our daily quest. There'll be, maybe a season quest and that type of thing, but also getting SPS rewards and having them based on the amount of SPS that's staked on you, I think is going to be huge. And it opens things up. So I'm going to be, I'm going to be running a competition, and it's going to be big, right? So when we have the capacity to name our castles or regions, because I have 2, I have names for them picked out, and I'm going to run a competition. The winner, the first person who can tell me the names of those based on clues that I'll provide, will be getting 100,000 SPS staked on them for 100 days.
Is the first one Matt, the second one Clark? Did I get it? Did I win?
Nice try. That's right.
Mattville and Clarkville.
To avoid drowning, I'll have it will basically be something that if you get it, you'll know, right? You look at the clues, and if you get it, you go, yes, okay. And it'll be like, 1,000 deck to submit an entry. And the first person to submit a correct entry, because otherwise you're just drowning in noise. But I've given it a lot of thought, and I think that something like that, you can do that when we have things like this, where a half decent player who happens to work out and guess what I'm going to call my regions or castles, however it works, they then, with 100,000 SPS staked on them for 100 days, that's 3+ months of getting mad SPS rewards. It's a huge boost, and when the tools are out there, we can do things like this, just like locking up cards. I've got a friend's working on automated rentals where you give him active keys and lock the cards, and then he will handle all of his AI will handle all of the renting, and just send you, take a cut and match the market and all that type of thing. So we couldn't do that until they organised locking of cards, right? That wasn't an option until they gave us that extra tool, and we're using it for something other than what it was intended. But the trust is not enough there for me to give him the active key, and it's certainly not. That's not scalable, right? There's not 1,000 guys who would give him the active key, but there would be 1,000 guys who go, you know what, I want you to automate my rentals, and as long as I'm locking up the cards before I give you the key, then fantastic. So I guess the only problem is if you want to take them back again, you've got to change your active key, or he's got a bot waiting for the cards to finish unlocking and people swipe them away.
It's a good idea. Good idea to change that, every now and then anyway. So
yeah. So it's the thing I guess I'm driving at is when they make changes and do things like adding SPS rewards for ranked battles, that gives us a whole lot, that gives the community a whole lot more tools, right? Then somebody will start a tournament for this, or somebody will start I'm doing a stream specifically for people that are this, or you get what I'm saying? Like it's a new avenue for people to explore and build and grow. So yeah, exciting times.
So a question for the group: if when they have SPS ranking that you can assign staked SPS to players, will you be picking yourself, or will you be trying to find another player to stake against? I'm pretty much just going to do myself.
I think I'll be doing the same.
Yeah.
I don't really have enough to be like you know.
Flashing
Like-
around.
Rain SPS on bitches, you know.
This is still something new for me as well. So I'm just listening at this point.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see how it looks, I guess.
Yeah.
The idea, Bob, in case you're not across it, is
I'm not. I've never. Yeah,
say
Brent.
say Jace, Yasik W, who's probably the best player in the game.
Yeah.
He sorry, guys, if you saw that. It's, you know, say for example, he's battling. The better he does, the more anyone who's backing him gets back in SPS rewards themselves. So it's like backing a racehorse, or, you know, behind somebody at a casino. I think you can back somebody else's play. But the more people there are backing him, the less your share is worth. So you kind of want to find, it's basically turning us all into talent scouts, where you find a promising newcomer and you go, here's this kid. Yeah, Gio, for example. here's this kid in Mexico somewhere. He can really handle a soccer ball. We're going to sign him to the big leagues and help get him, you know, even if it's buying him a pair of shoes or whatever. And so it'll be a case of, here's this guy, and he's got some mad skills, but I really think he'd benefit from having, say, a max Dr. Blight would make a huge change for him. So I'll delegate him a max Dr. Blight. Just why not? Because it's only costing me $1 a day, but I'll back him with 500,000 SPS. And when he's winning, I'm getting back a huge share of that. And I'm not sharing it with anybody, because unlike Yasik or Byzantinist, I'm not having to share that with anyone, because this kid doesn't have any other backers. So it's another exciting level of not complexity for the sake of complexity, but complexity for game theory that we can then approach the game in a whole different way. And just like any other ecosystem, like I say with the soccer and talent scouts or baseball or what have you, there's now room for you to be a full-time talent scout, and that's something that I could possibly look at with my SPS stake. If I get to say 3, 4, 5 million, something like that. Neil McSpadden was talking about 30 million, which would be 1% of the supply. That's his goal, and I'm like, oh, that's ambitious. But even with a few million SPS, assuming that goes well and the ecosystem keeps growing, I could retire from battling and even retire from running my own lands and just rent them all out and just be a full-time talent scout, where all I do is scour the chain, scour the world for the best, even recruit incredible minds to the game, set them up entirely, and then take the SPS earnings from that. That could literally be your business model. And there could be entire organizations that are built around that. Who knows where this thing goes? So,
and I assume
the
you would
changes
take
there,
a crowbar to the knee of anyone in their way, right?
Well, I'm not going to say so on video, but got to make a name for yourself.
It's a full-time
right?
job.
And it's not like they fear me in their arena.
I mean, protection money. It's you got to be able to back that up, haven't you?
It's an investment. So I think Matt Clark is the greatest person who ever lived.
Yeah.
Is that what we were talking about? I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we've been running it ever since Agro said it. In fact, that episode, I had from the town hall, I had that clip, and every time we're talking about, and it was something Matt said. It was like really, like along the lines of smashing people's kneecaps to support his SPS sponsored player. And I tucked it in after that. Matt Clark, greatest person who ever walked on the earth.
Well, it's your ringtone, isn't it, Bob?
It's Matt's ringtone, actually, and his alarm. He admitted to it.
Look, I'm not saying my people got to aggroed, but you don't hear him saying that about anybody else, right?
I think you might have a bit of trouble competing SPS there, mate, against Aggroed, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
so we're going to look at Aussie.
You'll be sending the boys around to your place.
And remember, you don't need kneecaps to play Splinterlands.
Yeah.
In fact, it's better if you don't have them. It's like, well, I guess I'm stuck here.
So spoon and eyeballs. Spoon
It
and
works
eyeballs.
well for Matt.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Matt Clark, you're a monster.
All right. So should we have a look at that? Adam's got
Yeah.
this battle that
Shall
he says is the greatest battle that's ever been played on Splinterlands.
That is
So-
correct.
So we're going to
like
have
it.
a look at that and assess it. One sec. I'll bring
It was
that
hard
up.
to narrow it down to just one greatest battle on Splinterlands ever, but I managed.
Right.
Well, like your photography with the lighting, if there's too much brilliance overall, it's hard to pinpoint an exact spot of maximum brilliance. It's too busy. It's too broad.
So,
All right, so what's going on here? Yeah.
well, the reason that I picked this battle is I have a mini nemesis in Sinstry, who I actually think is probably one of the funniest people on the Hive blockchain. Like, I'm not sure if anyone's following him, but he's very, very funny, and I enjoy his words and the order that he puts his words.
I'll
So
put his link
that-
below.
Yeah, so I find that when I see his name come up, so obviously I'm a little upset about the upcoming changes, but when I see his name come up, I have to think really hard on how I'm going to smash him. And that doesn't always go to plan. So when I saw Mimosa rock into this battle and I had picked very heavy magic, I immediately thought I was screwed. Just like, that's it, no point in even watching this. But this is a heavy hitters game, and I had picked stun on purpose, but that doesn't always work out. In fact, it often doesn't work out. I try and go stun heavy, and sometimes it's the most amazing thing to watch, and sometimes it just fizzles. So does anyone want to try and predict, I guess, my own hubris? Did I pick a battle that I won or that I got smashed in? And what do you think happened?
Matt.
Well, I'm thinking the Lord of Darkness has stun.
Yeah.
So he's gonna act first. So I expect he's taken out your Lobstradamus there, hitting him nice and hard. And there's enough damage in your back row that double damage there would be a threat. So it really is a coin toss on whether he takes out Lobstradamus, whether he stuns Lobstradamus. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Your back row, you're doing some damage, but obviously that's minimized by Void. Bit of splash damage from Ruler of the Seas. Between him and your Spirit Miner, you're going to be all right for speed. I think you're going to be nice and quick, but your Dwarven Wizard is it would take him a ridiculous amount of time to try and hack through his, Phantom Soldier?
Yeah.
So I would, looking at this, I would give the win to Sinistry. There is a bit of magic reflect going on with your Lobstradamus and your I can never remember the name of the plasma. Your second card. But the void from Mimosa means that you're basically immune to magic reflect, which is why he's using the Fallen Spectre there. So looking at this, I would give this to Sinistry. I'll be honest. I think you're going to go faster, but you're not. You're going to go faster, but I can't see you doing sufficient damage to him. The only way I could see it working in your favor is if he doesn't stun, but you do, and if your blind is really effective and stops his Skeleton Assassin and Corrupted Pegasus from landing many hits. So I think 9 times out of 10, or maybe 8 times out of 10, Sinistry is going to take this, but I think maybe there is always a chance that you'll get lucky on the stuns and he won't. So that's the way I'm leaning.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting that neither of us took a trample card. I often, when it is a trample rule set, I often try and put in a trample card because there are such great ones, and you can just run away with the game if you do it well. But yeah, neither of us actually tried to do it this time, which I thought was interesting. Gio, do you have any strong opinions?
Oh yeah, he silenced you twice.
Yeah, that was sort of I was looking at.
Negging you hard in every way. Your heavy magic, he's got Void +2 silence. Like, first glance, it's like, yeah, he's won.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned before, and Matt, stun really has to work in your favor. Yeah, like hard.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
It's a really good anti-magic build, and I pretty much kicked myself as soon as I saw it. And because I, like I pay attention when I play Sinstry. So, and I think that I've won against Sinstry a lot with Magic. So I was like, I'm going to do it again.
Yeah.
And I just wonder, like,
if he was like, hey,
yeah, that guy,
that
Aussie ninja who always uses magic, I'll smash him.
Oh no. He always uses magic against me. Let's go.
So there's a lot of emotion tied up in this particular battle, at least on my side. He may not even know that I exist. I don't know.
He's like, he doesn't even know who I am.
Well,
we'll have to tag him so he knows we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be tagged.
Bob, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I noticed your silence as well. But the thing I was mainly looking at here is, so you've got a little bit of silence there for his heavy magic, but his melee, they're like one hit, like for example, skeleton assassin there. Is it skeleton assassin? Yeah. That's one hit and he's gone with magic, and so because poison's a pain in the butt going on, and sneaking there against your last card. So I think that the low life, and I'm not talking about him, I'm talking about his cards, the low life combination, like we got a 1, we got a 3, we got another 3, and combined with speed, especially like his Lord of Darkness is he could take a few hits before it even gets a go. Yeah, it is a borderline, but I think he has outweighed you with silence, and you do have a lot of magic. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with your opponent as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think if I had sneak cards, I think his build would probably be in trouble. Like as you said, like really low health cards in his backline, at the back of his backline. But that Phantom Soldier like is so tough that you kind of have to get through that before you tackle those others. So yeah,
the other thing I'm looking at is you're not relying on heal at all, which nullifies Mimosa's Afflict. So that is a benefit for her, and that's what I fear about a Mimosa team, because I lean towards Earth and there's just so much healing going on. That really scares me, because everybody in the back row is afflicted, and even if you got cleanse, that's only cleansing your first player. But if you're not planning to do any sort of healing anyway, which is your build's all about attack, then yeah, that afflict is nullified.
I've very much got the glass cannon build. I'm just going to go in hard and hope for the best.
All right. Let's see how this plays out then.
Sound, Bob?
You want sound?
Yeah, I guess so.
We can be alone with our thoughts.
We need a volume control on this. We really need a volume control for the game sound.
I often get scared because I turn the sound off, but there's one sound like the start of the match you can't turn off.
Yeah.
And it just frightens me every time.
Just look at all those buffs.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah.
I guess he's
that heal from that corrupted Pegasus.
Yeah. I love the corrupted Pegasus. Yeah, take that, you jerk.
You wiped him out real quick. He had no retaliate.
And there's that blind too from your Spirit Miner. That's
pretty much when I play that last card, I don't remember what it's called, that he's got, the little 2 health one. I always it's a fast card, but I always go up against with someone that has reflect, and it goes out the very first move.
Yeah, I only ever see it played with Mimosa.
Yeah.
Or in Equalizer.
The stun.
That stun, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as his cards with silence are getting killed, then you're you're back to regular damage. Nice.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah,
So-
definitely well done. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the luck of stun. Like stun is what,
Yeah.
50% chance of activating. So it was all going to come down to like whether stun was going to work for me or not.
Yeah,
So
because that was
pure
stacked
luck
against
and no
you.
strategy.
It was stacked against you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was awesome to pull that off. Gio, what do you-
So my arch nemesis,
Yeah.
that's it. I've won the war. There's no point in playing against me anymore. You might as well just sell your Splinterlands cards.
give them away. Give them
Yeah,
away.
just give them
You know,
away.
Try and
Looking
redeem.
at that, I'm honestly looking at your team and thinking, what would have been a better counter for your team had he known exactly what you were going to play? And I'm not sure that I could come up with
Mhm.
a better option than what he actually. Obviously, wasting afflict by bringing in Mimosa when you didn't have any healers is one thing. But looking at him, like, what could he have really done differently to have won
I
that?
know.
And it's kind of like he played the best team to counter what you did, and you won
He
anyway.
did.
I mean,
he
void
could
on
have
every
swapped.
card.
He could have
Sorry?
swapped Lord of Darkness with like the dude who reflects heaps and has mad health. It's either head in the jar or the other one.
Head in the jar. That's the best.
Mimosa. No.
Other one.
Yeah, Lord Arthurius.
12 health.
But you're
7
talking
mana.
about it's a low. Yeah, it's a
Elmo.
cheaper card,
Elmo.
but it's
Yeah,
got reflect
Elmo,
on
or
it.
yeah, and Tickle Me Elmo. Yeah, because I noticed Lord of Darkness, all of his abilities were null and void because you had, what you were using. The only one he could use was stun. That's
Yeah.
the only thing he could use because you were using a full lineup of, Yeah.
And the lobster Damus. It's weird. This is the first time I'm saying a lot of the cards out loud. Lobster Dam. Anyway, like he a lot of his abilities, actually, it doesn't matter if he's stunned or not. Like, obviously, when a card is stunned, then they get double damage against them, which sucks. And I think was mainly the only way I was able to make any magic damage against all these voided cards.
That's right.
But because he has Thorns and Reflect, like that really helped. So even if he gets stunned, he can still do something. And then that Prismatic Energy one, also has Reflect, which is very helpful.
But it shows that you thought of that, You're like, okay, I'm magic heavy, but I need something for the melee problem if I'm to run up to one and to reflect,
Yeah,
So, no, it was really, really, it was well thought out, I think.
Yeah, top effort. It's funny
And
when
Downs-
you say you've never said the name out loud. There's someone watching going, I've always called him Lobstradamus. But yeah, Lobstradamus. Yeah, you're right.
I've always called him Labia Lengthius.
The downside of that win, of course, though, is he didn't know who you were to actually counter what you always do against him. So hopefully that doesn't impact too hard on your day.
Yeah. If you're watching this, I hope you don't delete your account.
So I'll just chuck mine in until we get the battle analysis. Now, just a bit of forewarning. I'm small fry. I'm a goal player. If you like seeing all those little circles all over the cards, that's not going to happen here. Not going to happen at all. And it was
if you
actually
seeing them above level 1, this is not the battle for you.
it was quite a low mana match as well. So I just tried something different. You're going Adam?
If I come up against, you can see the collection power of the person that you're up against. And if I'm up against someone who has a huge collection power, I actually hope for a low mana game. Because I feel like with a low mana game, anyone has a chance to win.
Yeah.
Actually, in our current brawl at the moment, Gia, you're matched up with someone with 2 million, aren't you?
I haven't actually checked, Bob, but that's
okay.
interesting. I didn't know.
I thought you and Bimo were talking about that your opponent's got 2 million.
It was a brawl. Oh, yes, the upcoming one. Yes, you're right. There's someone who's got 2 mil, and it's like,
That's not right.
Yeah, but it's okay. You win some, lose some. And yeah, dude. Yeah, and all I only have Chaos Legion cards. That's all I have. I don't have these pool, and I maxed out actually Uraeus. I thought I need Uraeus. I need him
Yeah.
maxed out
Yeah.
for Diamond. And Dimian Shark, I finally maxed out as well because I feel
They're
like
both snake cards.
Oh no. Uraeus is. Sorry,
Right.
Uraeus
Okay.
is the poison little serpent snake at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
Of, right?
Yeah.
But the other Demon Shark, Demon, I needed
on.
him. Demon. Yeah, yeah.
Is that the
I
one
need
with
it.
reach? It's a melee card, yeah?
He's got trample and rage and retaliate. I feel
Oh,
like
nice.
for a melee, for the new set, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just like, we have to get him.
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
though, you know.
So
there's just some cards.
I don't have like any really Chaos Legion cards. The only ones I've got are the ones that have been airdropped. And that's because I'm waiting for the SPS airdrop to finish.
Yeah,
And
me
then
too.
all the cards, all the airdrops to finish, so that everyone then opens all their packs. And that's when I'll get some Chaos Legion cards.
Yeah, I'm in a sort of wedge at the moment in that, like, I've got the alphas and betas from when I first started. And like I said, I was just buying packs with Steam. And as the price of Steam started going down, my fiat programmed mentality was like, well, now it's costing me $5 for a pack. And I stepped back. So I've got some bait, and the next cards I bought was a couple of Untamed. And that was it until my whole revamp was in Chaos Legion. But I'm hodling those for the same reason. And I don't want to, every pack I open now, there's 4 or 5 airdrop cards yet to come that aren't going to be in that pack if I open it now.
And they're the summoners.
Yeah.
Like they're the big boys. Yeah.
So I've got like a little bit of chaos and some A's and B's. So I'm in a sort of limitate.
When do you guys think that Chaos Legion will sell out? Do you have any predictions? Have you made predictions in the past?
I'm waiting on Matt, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking the problem is we can sit in the doldrums for another 6 months. That can very much happen.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm conscious of the fact that Yabba paced the number of packs was based on a projected rate of growth. He crunched those numbers while we were absolutely booming, right? We had a massive growth. And so that was speculated to last for a year. If we last for a year, that is success. That's Matt sat down with the sextant slide rule and he's been right.
Yeah.
That would be success. I think, given the fact that it's not like the project stalled, but a lot of the hype has died down as the SPS prices died. We're down from $1 to 11 cents. And I know a lot of people are waiting for the last SPS, the last VC allocation to go for them to dump. And then I expect the price of SPS to climb quite a bit. But I think, to be honest, we've probably got another 6 months left in Chaos Legion. However, there's a caveat there. I expect there might be a few people who are maybe sitting on the sidelines and potentially waiting for a particular point. So it might be that there's people out there who say, right, I want a rapid flip, and as soon as we get to say 10 million cards, 10 million packs sold, I think the last 5 million will go quick. So I'm going to load up then and look to dump on tribal decks, or especially with the non-card market coming out. Packs presumably will be available on the site, bought secondhand, so you don't need to go to tribal decks. Then import send the money there, import the pack or the title or the plot back into the game. It's already in there, just like buying and selling of cards. So when that non-card market happens, I can expect that there are people out there who have a point in mind, not so much interested in the airdrops, but they go, I want to buy a pack for $4 and I want to hold it for as little time as possible before I can resell it for $12. I think those people have a point in mind. They'll go 11 million or 12 million. When we hit that, that's when I'll load up. And of course, that mentality feeds on itself. And once that ball starts rolling, then it's just a matter of time. And we could literally have 1 million packs left, and you'll go to sleep, and then you wake up and they're all gone.
Yeah,
because
which we've seen in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's just a question of when is that going to start? When is that FOMO going to start? And we could sit at between 8 and 9 million packs for another 2 years. It's theoretically possible. I don't think it'll happen, but it's theoretically possible. But I think in less than 6 months we will have sold out. Whether that's 2 months from now we hit 11 million and then it starts to climb, and then 2 months and 3 days later from now, 2 months and 3 days from now, then it's all gone. Or it might be 3, 4, 5 months before that FOMO starts kicking in and people start looking for the quick flip, right? That's all they want. They go, I want to triple my money, but I don't want to leave it in packs for 6 months. So these guys looking at this going, is there 6 months left? I think there's only 3 months left. I'm gonna hit and there's some big money that wants to do that, right? There will be big money on the sidelines that wants a quick triple in 3 or 4 months, right? There's very, very low risk. So if you've got guys out there with, millions of bucks just waiting for that moment when they're going to hit the trigger, knowing that the doldrums are over and we're on the cusp of selling out because they want to flip them. That's what I see. What happens then, the more that happens though, obviously, the longer it is before you actually get your triple or quadruple, going 4 or 5x, whatever you've got in mind, because you've then got to wait for people to buy those packs off the secondary market or the cheaper packs off the secondary market. So, but that's a separate question to when CL going to sell off on the site. So, sorry, I've just been monologuing for a while.
No, that's
all
right.
My thoughts anyway. Less than 6 months.
So then, do you know if the Splinterlands team has a cadence of when they release new editions? Like, has it been yearly? Because that might affect.
They aim for one a year, and they base this 15 million on that was their best estimate for. They want to keep packs on shelves for a year. That's their goal. If they sell out earlier, then that's fine too. But that's their aim. Their best estimate is look at everything and work out what's the right amount to try and sell out. And obviously, there's so much psychology that goes into that as well.
Oh, of course.
But just from pure numbers, they want to sell one edition a year, and they'd like to run out the day before the next edition becomes available.
So they started Chaos Legion around like the 5th or 6th of January. So then, is the next edition coming around next January 2023? And if it does, does that affect the secondhand market for Chaos Legion, or does everyone then divert their attention to the new edition? So I think that has a big impact as well. Who knows? The timing of that new edition could very much affect Chaos Legion.
Absolutely. And I would say, regardless of when Chaos Legion sells out, I would be very surprised to see another edition before January 2023.
Yeah.
That's
But
would you be likely? Sorry, man, for cutting you off. It could be likely that, like the previous packs, like Dice and Untamed, weren't as substantial as, let's say, I forget which packets. This could be like an add-on, like a fair few cards, but not like the bulk of it, like what we have right now. It could be just like supporting cards. Maybe
so I guess Rift Watchers kind of fills that gap that you're talking about.
It
could be that. Yeah, it could be exactly like that, which wouldn't make, let's say, it'd still be. You know what I mean? It probably won't affect price that much, I mean, sure, there's going to be some cards in there that are going to be like, we need, because that's just how it's done.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. Anyway, that's what I thought I had to say.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bob, you got your game? I'm just conscious of time. I think we might be running close to time. You got your game queued up, mate?
Yeah. We can jump into that. All right, so as you can see, thorns, always wary of thorns, but obviously initially I didn't get to see them. The no neutral, I'm not really affected much by that because I'm all over my suits well enough that the only disadvantage is I can't use my chicken, right? So, but with such a low mana, there's never going to be a chicken in this game anyway. So Clay Golem, because of reverse speed, it's the only time that he's going to actually like be of value for his hitting. And because he's got a shield, I don't have enough mana to chuck a Scavo or another heal. And with the shields again, with Adelaide, if he does go down, he's going to resurrect with a shield. So that was a big point on that one. Because I'm thinking like he's probably only going to have 2 cards as well. So now a resurrect here could be paramount, because how often does it come down to 1 hit point at the end? And plus in this, we've got shield repair, and it's got a shield. So depending on what melee they start off with, that was my thinking. And then the game loaded up and I saw thorns and that freaking unicorn. And I thought, nah, that the golem's just gonna be destroyed. But anyway, what do you guys think?
I think repair from Adelaide.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. That repair from Adelaide. However, that wood nymph healing up the unicorn Mustang, that's got to be so strong, right? I mean, that's an extra 3. I mean, you've got to wear him down. Yeah. I think you'll take it out, but it'll only be the extra 1 magic damage that she does to the unicorn Mustang that'll break that impasse. But your repair will just heal him up every time he gets hit. So, but then there's thorns to worry about too. Gee, that's.
Oh yeah.
Because hitting for 3, he's going to take 2 damage every time from the thorns.
Did you pick this battle because it's got Adelaide, which is Australia's second best city?
I thought because no one's outside of Australia, no one's ever heard of Adelaide. That didn't really come into it in this particular case. It was definitely I chose for the shield repair. Because I love my little Scavo.
Resurrect. Like that's
I
huge.
love my little Scavo. And I actually, Clay Golem was my first choice. So then I was actually looking at the numbers, the mana. So what can I use for this number? And Adelaide came up on that list. I was like, oh, how can I not?
Yeah.
So it's, Adelaide was the second choice of card. Golem was first because of reverse speed. And of course, they're both 1s. So they're both going to get a go. That was...
Yeah, although you don't want Adelaide working before the golem, because then she doesn't repair after the thorns. So does anyone know, like, is there a specific order that cards will go in, or does it become random? Or is it always melee first? Yeah, but if they're both 1.
I think it's melee, then range, then magic.
And that's always?
I'm always get confused if that's the opposite in reverse speed. That's what always trips me up.
I mean, I guess we'll find out.
What's funny too is, seeing Bob, it's funny seeing you play Adelaide, because at higher leagues she gets she speeds everyone up. She gets swiftness. That's at max level. So I would never play her in reverse speed. So it's funny to see her here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it was like another one. What was the other card you were saying? You're disadvantaged by going up a buff. You're getting something that you don't want as well. We talked about recently. It's
Cyclops.
It becomes a 2 speed card. Yeah. I've still got Cyclops at 1 speed, and use it all the time in reverse. Yeah. Like I think I stopped at 6 or something. It's like, well, that's where we're staying.
Yeah. All right. So let's roll this, because the Zoom timer did pop up. Not sure how long we got. Geo.
4 minutes. 4 minutes to go.
All right. What's your call here?
Oh, dude. Look, I think you're gonna take it just because you've posted it. I mean, I know that your void, he's gonna do none of that. But because you have a melee and he's got thorns and I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm just gonna say you. Yeah.
I think it's the 3rd green card that's really gonna change this match. Did Adele go first?
Did anyone notice?
I think she did.
See,
Yeah,
misses,
so maybe
that's
this
interesting.
reversed.
So the reverse speed does
Misses could
switch it.
change this. Yeah, those misses, I hadn't factored those in, but yeah, 4 speed is a
Yeah, because
lot at this
unicorn's
level
4
for
and 1.
unicorn
That's a
speed.
huge difference in speed. Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't picture in your head somebody missing a clay golem.
Yeah.
No, you
Yeah.
don't.
This reverse speed's the only time that's going to happen.
But that Unicorn Mustang, like, it's such a tough card to beat.
It is.
It's such a good tank. You'd have to be a legend to beat any build that has it.
Yeah, I'm actually still surprised it turned out like that, eh? Like, it's so good.
Yeah.
Look at that. Too easy,
And-
mate.
Yeah, and a 2-card play is, I think that's actually the first time I've ever won a 2-card play. It's usually not my strong suit.
Yeah. I mean, like, it makes sense, right? Like, if you're getting some kind of buff from your summoner, like, it makes sense. Like, if you have 6 cards, then you get 6 times that buff. If you only use 2 cards, then you only get 2 times that buff. So yeah, like, it does make a difference. And often, like, I've definitely lost games where I've put in 2 cards that are really strong, but then, like, you know, there's 6 shots coming at them and it just wears them down. So you've done very well in that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Awesome. So as I say, the Zoomer time did come up, and to avoid the, we didn't quite make it on our last video. like bang, like we were gone. So any words, any wrap ups, any final thoughts from anyone?
Thanks for having me. It's been very good. It's good to put, like, some faces to the names.
Yeah, that's
Likewise,
the
man.
thing
Agreed.
behind the avatar. You know, you're battling this little icon on the screen. It's like there's a
Yeah.
person on the other side of that, you know? Yeah.
Unless you're Lang. Unless
What
you're
was that?
Lang bot. A
Right.
bot?
Yeah.
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 And then you all look the same. You're like, not here.
Yeah.
Voila.
Oh,
Just
it's
like-
Mattbot again.
Oh no, it's the Matrix script.
Actually, when used for my Google chat, at the beginning of the season, every second or third game was a Miller bot, Miller 301, Miller 89, Miller 24, and they were smashing me. And I've flipped the coin on that, and like every Miller bot in the last few days has gone down.
Yeah, it's
like,
good job,
yeah.
Botterfet.
Perfect. Well, if I do learn how to use bots, I'm not going to know what to call them, eh? All right, so
I think
thanks
this
for
Zoom is
joining
about to
us.
fit.
And remember too, we love engagement. Comment below. Every week, one subscriber or one commenter who generates the most engagement will receive 10% of the post rewards. So please comment, like, share, and check out Aussie Ninja on the Hive blockchain. His link's below.